Hi everybody, Robert here. Alexa, pause. Alexa, pause. So, anyway, just listening to Ghostface Killer, Iron Man. That's one of the first wave of Wu-Tang solo albums that came out as Ghostface Killer's first. Definitely one of his best. So, Robert here, hello. Man, I look funny on this. I look crazy. Go figure. Anyway, so Robert here. Um, I had been meaning to do YouTube videos, and I haven't been doing it. And I was just watching Vinny Paz's video. Vinny Paz is the lead MC from Jedi Mind Tricks, and I was watching his YouTube video, and it reminded me that I had always planned to do YouTube videos after I got this computer uh, while I was in Shaker Heights, Ohio, helping my uncle recover from a stroke. And so I'm here to make good on that. Becca and I are settled into our new house. Becca has a new job at a great place called Morcia. I have an interview at their sister restaurant on Wednesday. I'm very hopeful. Um, but I have found employment since then, and besides having a bunch of autoimmune attacks, or 2 autoimmune attacks the past couple weeks, it's been going well, and I'm pretty happy with this new job. Of course, I would go for something different. Justin Severino is the head chef of Cure and Morcia, and he owns it with his wife. And to be able to work for them, especially since in the process of this, I've told them all about my allergies and the fact that I don't drink and stuff like that. And I still have an interview, and I'm still hopeful, and I'm going to go in and be my pleasant and, pleasantly eccentric self, and for the best. So, one thing I wanted to talk about is, I've been trying to play a lot of video games. One thing that characteristic of my depression over the years has been anhedonia. And I'm sure that a lot of people can identify with this kind of the whole world going kind of gray and colorless is one of the trademarks of it. And it's something that's difficult to fight. It's hard to fight against not enjoying anything. So one thing is I've been really I have goal setting for enjoyment of life because that's one way I try to combat it. And I've been I got this great computer, I got this Xbox over the past year. I also got a 3DS, so I have a lot of games and game systems to play on now. Plus, I have like an old PS2, Wii, Xbox 360. I have an old Game Boy Advance SP with some awesome strategy role-playing games on it. But I've been playing the new Warcraft expansion Legion, and I've posted some Facebook videos of that, live streamed some World of Warcraft, which I'll do more of soon. I've also been playing Destiny, Rise of Iron. And Rise of Iron is the 4th Destiny expansion, and it's really enjoyable. It's kind of a detour into a backstory about one of the quest-giving characters, Lord Saladin, and a nanotech threat that they've faced in the past that has just recently emerged, and the Fallen, these group of scavenger aliens that hold territory on Earth, go ahead and they've found it. They're obsessing about it. They're getting their best crazy minds together to try to experiment on themselves as well as the Hive and create more monstrosities and try to overcome the humans, the Guardians. And I like that the kind of almost the emergent backstory of this is similar to what the original Destiny story was supposed to be, which is kind of like the humans were shut down and shoved back to Earth, and we don't really know our own history. And the Watcher protected us, and now we're starting to emerge again. We're on the 4th expansion. We took out Oryx, the Taken King. We're taking out the nanotech, the Sieve enhanced Fallen, and the truth is we're really kind of the bad guys in this. And because we are not making any attempts in diplomacy, we're not doing anything besides, shining post-humans going through starting to effectively dominate our solar system. So there's talk of Destiny 2 being PC only, which would be really cool, and kind of integrating both the fighting parts and the social aspects of the game into one, and also making it so it could really kind of push the limits of what we've seen in a first-person shooter-based RPG, massively multiplayer style RPG like Destiny. So all I really wanted to say about games is I think both expansions, while having their problems, are great. World of Warcraft has never been this fun. I get to jump in Raid Fighter and I'm playing parts of the raid whenever I want. I'll do that in the live stream. Player versus player is as good as it's ever been. There's more classes, there's more species, there's just a ton of stuff to do. The dungeons are great, really having fun healing. You know, there's nothing like squeaking through an intense counter and keeping a whole bunch of, other players alive. That's a great feeling. The thing that's the best about World of Warcraft now is the world quests. And the world quest is something that they took from Diablo 3 later iteration, a patch way down the line a couple years into it, where they started making these randomly generated quests, or partially randomly generated quests. They gave you something new to do every day. So they took an expanded version of that and placed it into World of Warcraft, along with a lot of other elements. And I just feel like the whole is a lot more cohesive. If you want player versus player, you want raiding, you want hard dungeons, easier dungeons, whatever you want, you can do. Plus, there's pet battles, there's your class hall, and that's kind of like a planning simulation to a certain extent, which is something they got, I guess, in Warlords of Draenor, and it's like kind of a lighter version of the Warlords of Draenor, system where you would create a whole base and have people go on missions for you. So you're always sending out people on missions, and you're like the head priest of because I'm a priest, the head priest of the priest hall, and you're an amazing hero. And I don't know, the story's great. The Legion, we find out that not only did they threaten Azeroth, they threaten all worlds in the multiverse. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of like a Grant Morrison style antagonist problem. Like, if we don't stop them here, nobody will ever stop them. And so, not only are we trying to save our home planet, but we're trying to save life itself. And there seems to be little, like, I don't know, kind of positive messages throughout it. And Destiny's also great. One thing that's interesting, it's the first week of the competitive multiplayer event, player versus player event called Iron Banner, which is kind of the backstory of Iron Banner is what's being elucidated in this new expansion. And they have a style of gameplay where you kill people just like team versus team, but you have to pick up their things. It's similar to Kill Confirmed in Call of Duty, which I've not played much of. Anyway, so I thought I was pretty good at Destiny player versus player, but I've been struggling this week. I am not great at this new game style, and it might be something to do with never quite making the transition between my Xbox 360 Destiny playing and my Xbox One, which feels a little bit different, and I changed my button configurations and stuff like that. Also, obviously, I've been playing a lot of World of Warcraft instead. But, I think that's enough to talk about video games, generally speaking. Beck and I are watching Beck's sister's dog, Henry. Hey, Henry, where are you? So maybe he'll come say hi. I don't know. But otherwise, things are going well. A couple backsliding with my health and stuff like that. But I figured out I can't eat smoked paprika. A couple years ago, I realized I had to take cayenne off the menu for me completely. I got to do the same with paprika, but I'm so relieved. I was so ill last night that I was terrified, and I've been experiencing a lot of negative psychological phenomena since I've been back in Pittsburgh. There's something about the ease at which I could throw down and work so hard for my aunt and my uncle when I was helping my uncle recover from his stroke. It buoyed me, it bolstered me as a person. I went through a lot of character growth. Now that I'm kind of back on my own, I've been going through a couple jobs, a couple of them were real crappy. Found this better one, hopeful about another one. I'm feeling better, but I feel like I'm floundering. And so that's why I'm focused on, okay, do this stuff. It's not just that I write every day, which I do. have to write and meditate every day, which I haven't been great about since I've been back. And there's no excuse for not finding the time to do that. So one thing about, getting so sick from eating food with paprika on it last night is it really reminds me, my goal, my mission in life, and what I want this YouTube channel to be about is about, you know, taking care of the cells. Like, I have this idea of like our bodies being full of like angels and Buddhas. All the cells, all the evolution that it created to make this amazing, super intelligent, super complex creature that is the human and the human nervous system. Like, we got to pay respect to that. Nietzsche called it the defilers of the body. You can be what he called an afterworldsman, somebody who believes so much in something else that we neglect the body or denigrate the body, as opposed to taking care of it. And there can be other reasons you denigrate the body. Addiction, I've suffered from that. I have 3.5 years sober without a drink now. And so my sobriety is a part of this. I want to get back into martial arts. I want to get back and I want to learn yoga. I want to talk about the things that are working for me, because I've had an interesting and triumphant journey from almost being physically dead at times, and then when my autoimmune diseases were the worst, and then being mentally dead because I was ignoring my conscience and it was killing me. And I'm still, as last night shows, I'm still recovering from both of those things. But the way my health improved and the character growth I went through from quitting drinking, from helping my uncle, from helping other people, from taking care of myself. And that's part of it, is like, the denigrators of the body, they can be your culture too. The people who don't respect your time, don't respect your work. And that's another subject, man. I can't think about anything else these days. There's all this work. This world needs so much work, and there's no good jobs. And it's crazy. We live in Universe B. We're the bad guys. This is the mirror world. And all of this can change. But I think the focus has got to be, like, take care of all individuals on Earth, a strong shift to egalitarianism. And I wanted to say that it's like, in my mind, we're going to become something greater than just you social superhumans, which, if we survive, we're definitely going to become. But what intelligent life is as a manifestation, what we are as that intelligent life, the greatest, communicative and tool-making species on this planet, we are an expression of the biota, of the life force on this planet itself, to understand conflict. The life force, I believe, wants to know if there's something beyond it, if there's an alternative, if it's somehow beneficial, which of course it is. And I think that's just, that's a lot of it, is we're something new. And when we come together and we go on this, what I call 100% rescue mission, sorry, crying a little because I'm emotional about what I'm talking about. When we go on this 100% rescue mission where we decide to take care of all species on the Earth, all humans, everybody gets saved. From here on out, everybody gets saved. When we decide to fully commit to this, it's bigger than that. It's the life force of this planet trying to overcome all the pain that experienced the genetic memory of just form after conflict, hunting and preying. And so speaking of destiny, we have a great destiny ahead of us as a species, and I'm glad to share it with you guys. And a huge part of that is bringing the focus back to the body, taking care of the body, taking care of the individual, taking care of peoples that have been oppressed for until millennia, like darker skinned people, like women, like less technologically advanced natives. These groups have been trounced upon for thousands of years. And it doesn't disparage anybody else when we say we acknowledge that these groups matter and these lives matter. You know, that women's lives matter and that gay people's lives matter and that black people's lives matter, Native American lives and Asian and Latino lives matter. And of course, yes, the white lives matter too, and nobody was ever saying anything different. We just, part of how we're going to take, it's a 100% rescue mission. We take care of ourselves by taking care of others. It's a shared destiny. It's a shared fate. And our karma won't equalize and won't find equilibrium until we realize that. So this got crazy serious, and that isn't what I meant. But, so anyway, here's my crazy YouTube video. Go ahead and subscribe. Hit the like button. Blah, blah, blah. Thanks a lot. Love you guys. Bye.